San Diego, 2013. I looked at myself in the mirror, pleased. I had on a bright green dress under my graduation gown. My dark brown hair was curled, although I knew that it would only last for an hour. I was cursed with stick straight hair that never stayed curled, like all women in my family. The only time I'd experienced real life curls was when I had long black extensions during my senior year of high school and platinum blonde extensions during my sophomore year of college. So many hair colors, so little time. I sat in my bed to put on the most critical piece of my graduation outfit, something I had only worn once before. My light pink silk Christian Louboutin heels. They were tighter than I remembered, but then again, I hadn't worn them since high school graduation. They were a present from my dad. I remember being at Nordstrom and him eyeing them like they were a precious jewel. He insisted I try them on. They weren't really my style, but his excitement excited me. Once they were on, I felt powerful. I did my best runway impression, and Dad gleamed. All the moms will go crazy when they see my daughter wearing red bottom shoes walking across the stage to accept her diploma. At the time, I had no idea what red bottom shoes meant. Dad was the fashion forward one. He put effort into his aesthetic like he was Ralph Lauren. He was known for his extravagant shopping sprees, especially for Mom, when he messed up. When Von Dutch took over the fashion scene in high school, naturally I competed with Jenny on what pieces I had. So Dad took me to Von Dutch and had custom jeans for me made. No way Jenny will top this, Dad smirked. He was right. I stared at myself in the graduation outfit in the mirror once again, eyeing the shoes that meant so much to my father. Who knows what you would have gotten me for graduating cum laude from a prestigious private college, I said to no one. Hours later, Hunter and I headed to Kegs and Eggs at the Beachcomber, a graduation day tradition. We pre-gamed and were already buzzing with giddy anticipation of crossing the threshold into adulthood. All the usual suspects surrounded us as we laughed, drank, and pretended to know what the future held. Allie decided to come down from Vegas for the big day. We had somehow made up after she bailed on me for LA, probably just by pretending it didn't happen. I knew she must be sitting with my mom somewhere in the sea of families and friends. I looked into the crowd, trying to spot them. Scanning the large crowd made me queasy as my buzz was starting to wear off. We'd been sitting restlessly for hours. Finally, my name was called, and I walked across the stage. All I could think of was, I sure hope Dad can see my red bottoms from heaven. After the ceremony and several drinks later at the Comer, I felt a blackout coming on and knew it was time to leave. The whole night had unfolded pretty much without a hitch, and I wanted to keep it that way. Allie wasn't the best drunk, and she'd already started making a few snide comments that I didn't appreciate. That wasn't out of character for her, but I wasn't as much of a pushover when I was drunk. Allie was wearing my graduation cap and ignored me as she threw herself at Kyle, who I knew had a girlfriend. Please, Allie, I'm exhausted. Let's go back to my place, I tried again. You're such a party pooper, Allie glared at me. I'll order us pizza and we can drink that bottle of champagne my mom bought me, I sing-song bribed. I gave Kyle a look and he got the hint. I actually need to catch up with my friends. It was nice meeting you, Allie, Kyle said, walking off without waiting for a response. Ugh, fine, but I get to pick the toppings, Allie said, pretending not to be deflated by Kyle's indifference. Deal! I grabbed Allie's wrist and led her through the sea of drunk graduates. The second we were on the street, the delicious smell of the ocean hit me. Allie and I wobbled towards my house, noting what pizza toppings we thought made you sane and which ones made you a serial killer. We reached my door and I quickly checked my phone for the 100th time. I shoved it back in my pocket and pulled out my house keys. I'm guessing Hunter is still ignoring your texts? Allie laughed, landing her blow as she leaned against the doorway. He's not ignoring me, he's with his family. I shot back as I opened the door. Sure, whatever you say. Allie fake smiled and walked past me into the house. Suddenly my legs felt like anchors and I couldn't move. What is that supposed to mean? Allie turned to me and used her I just care about you tone. Nothing. I'm just assuming if he were serious about you, he'd want to spend graduation night with you. A doubt twisted in my stomach like a knife. Serious about me? I just met his family. Obviously he's serious about me. Right? Allie continued. I mean, you guys aren't getting a place together this summer. And didn't Hunter live with his last girlfriend? Fuck, that was true. I tried to mask the doubt in my tone with an air of challenge. Yeah, after a year of dating, we just got serious a few weeks ago. Allie scoffed and turned away from me. Yeah, after he jerked you around for months first. What did you say? The night's chill ran through the air, matching my tone. Oh my God, Spencer, it's nothing. Don't be so dramatic. Let's drink the I am so fucking sick of people calling me dramatic. I threw my keys into the house, not moving an inch. You have been making digs at me all night. What is your problem? I shouted. Nothing, Jesus, Allie shouted back. I just didn't want to leave yet. I was making progress with Kyle and you totally cockblocked me. Here we go. Not everyone wants you, Allie. Kyle has a girlfriend who was on the other side of the bar. You are making a fool of yourself. I was actually trying to save you. I said harsher than intended. Allie's eyes went dark as she walked toward me like a predator. Well, at least I don't have a boyfriend who doesn't want me. Me making a fool of myself? Please, you've been making a fool of yourself since the day your dad died. He would be so embarrassed of you. No, she didn't. Suddenly, I was stone cold sober, and I wanted to break her in half. I stepped so close I could taste the cheap vodka on her breath. Well, at least I'm not playing dress up and pretending I graduated from a real college when I wasn't even smart enough to finish community college. Shock was written all over Allie's face. In 11 years of her constant belittling and betrayal, I had never once stood up to her. You fucking bitch! Allie walked towards me, backing me out of the house. Your dad would be disgusted with you. Like everyone else is, you're just too dumb to notice. Fuck this! Allie shouted and marched off into the night. I stood frozen, grinding my teeth in fury. Hands shaking, I took my phone from my pocket and dialed Hunter. No answer. Allie's words echoed in my mind. I'm just assuming if he was serious about you, he'd want to spend graduation night with you. I called again as my feet automatically took me to Hunter's house next door. The lights were off and no one was home. Hunter lived with his last girlfriend, didn't he? I sat on Hunter's stoop, not knowing where else to go. I'm not sure how many times I called, but he never answered. Freezing and soaked in tears, her words played on repeat. You've been making a fool of yourself since the day your dad died. Your dad would be disgusted by you. I laid down on the cold cement on Hunter's doorstep, surrendering to the weight of exhaustion, and whispered in defeat, You're right.